Welcome to TERRA at Home with your host, Kris Moretti.
Good morning and welcome to TERRA at Home. We're right around the corner from Christmas now, and one of my favorite traditions, one of my favorite parts of Christmas is decorating the tree. We're joined by Laura Wittner, not just the TERRA landscape coach, but now working as part of the merchandising team with TERRA. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Very excited.
Laura, you've been a big part of making Christmas happen at TERRA here this season, both in the greens room and on the showroom floor with decorating trees, and you've gleaned some expert advice, which we're going to use today.
Yes, I have myself, but when it comes to Cineme, you are the go-to girl.
Cineme is the name for this decorative mesh, and this is where we're going to begin our journey of layering together a perfect Christmas tree. Decorative mesh can be used in so many applications. We use it in outdoor arrangements because it's weatherproof, but it can also make a show-stopping addition to your indoor decor, including the tree. What I love about decorative mesh is that it's iridescent and it has sort of threads of metallic element through there, so they catch the light of the Christmas tree, which is why I love it so much as the basis of a tree. So Laura, today you and I are going to put the tree together in a theme, basically, which I think replicates how you may decorate your tree at home. So we'll give you a few of our favorite tips as to how to achieve the perfect tree, and we're going to start off with this mesh. So decorative mesh away. I've already done your side of the tree, Laura, and I think something that bears mentioning is whether it's ribbon or decorative mesh, the key to making it look great on the tree is to work it in and out of the crevices of the tree rather than just allowing it to sit on top. So I'm just gonna string it all out there, and I actually work it almost in little bubbles, little loops, and I'll start off right up here and nestle it inside the tree. Now, I find it exceptionally easy in an everlasting tree like this because the branches are really stiff. But in a live tree, you use the same basic principle, and you want to bring it in and out of the tree in sort of little bubbles, filling in those empty spaces and playing with the light so that it catches those beautiful shimmering lights.
Another thing I love about the Cineme is that it almost is kind of like a backdrop for the ornaments, and you can use different colors to really highlight themselves against whatever color of Cineme you have. And it fills in nice big gaps, which is something that we'll show in a little bit, but using larger items that you might not necessarily think to put in a tree will help fill in those big spaces. With the new everlasting trees, that is something that we don't have to worry about too much. I mean, you kind of open them up, they fill in themselves, but all the same, it's nice to tuck things in as little surprises. So if people are looking close at the tree, you can see something that you may not see just by looking at it from a far distance.
Now, Laura, you've got some good examples of that over on your side, some things that maybe you wouldn't consider adding to your tree without a little bit of encouragement, but we can really break out of the norm and put more than ornaments on a tree. You've got a prime example of something unexpected in a Christmas decoration.
Yes, this is ornamental cabbage, so it's a fake cabbage, but tucking it into somewhere that can just kind of, like we said earlier, be a surprise. Now this is covered in kind of a iridescent white that looks like snow, but it also picks up the light when it's dark, evening time, and you've got the glistening of the Cineme, and then something like the ornamental cabbage down there as well.
I've got one on my side as well. So we're going to use these great big elements like the ornamental cabbage, the unexpected pieces, and put them in first. After our beginning base element of the decorative mesh, we've got our largest elements first. And like you said, Laura, we're going to fill in any of those spaces that maybe are a little bit cavernous and just tuck them in amid the branches. And something like this cabbage, which again is sort of a strange element, when the tree is fully decorated, you'll see this is going to play more as an interesting texture than something weird in your Christmas tree. So let's move on to something next. Now, our next element is going to be not an ornament as well, but we've got decorations that go with our theme that we can perhaps take off the walls, take off the front door, and work them into the tree.
Yes, definitely. So we've got these kind of larger balls,
Great.
which again, nice and sparkly. That is my favorite thing about Christmas, the sparkle and the glitter.
Yeah.
So, and especially things that will just catch your eye ever so slightly and subtly inside the tree. So again, you're going to look for a nice big opening and really get that in there.
Along with those, we've got matching elements of small wreaths, and those will work in those spaces as well. So again, finding that perfect spot can be the toughest part, but we're looking to fill in those largest spaces so that we get the most maximum impact in our tree with these interesting little elements.
And the great thing about the larger elements are you don't necessarily have to secure them in or hang them off any branch. You can just nestle them in there.
You'll notice that's what we're doing. We're taking advantage of our nice thickly branched tree to sort of just nestle them in wherever possible. So with those in place, now one more element. Again, we're working sort of biggest to smallest. We've got some picks that would be used for indoor flower arranging or maybe in your outdoor planter. These can make a great addition to your tree as well. Again, in those spaces that need the most filling. So we'll add those as an element as well.
And what I love about decorating Christmas trees is you almost can't go wrong. You know, you kind of put things in, step back and look, and it's all almost done.
I love these poinsettias, and they're going to make a big addition too. Our next element, again, something a little bit unexpected. This is a tabletop decoration that, again, goes with this look, with this theme. So it doesn't just need to be ornaments, like we said. And this is one more final element that's going to be something a little bit unexpected.
So pull right in here. And again, pick up that little bit of glitter.
That's right. It's all about the sparkle in this tree. Of course, spacing them sort of equidistant throughout the tree so that all of your like elements aren't together. And you'll notice we're sort of completing everything in steps. So we'll put all of the cabbages in first, then all of these weird little fun elements, then all of the deer in. Now we're moving on to ornaments. And when you do that, you work with one style of ornament at a time. It helps to make it spaced more evenly throughout the tree so that it's visually appealing and visually balanced when you're finished. So all we have left now are our traditional elements, which doesn't need any real explanation, but our finishing touches, our little ornaments, our special pieces that add sentimental value to our tree. Perhaps they've been gifts, or perhaps if you're doing a themed tree, they don't really have sentimental value, but are just matched and themed to your tree. And of course, a little bit of glitter is what we're looking for here. Laura, thanks for your help. I think this tree is coming along very nicely.
Yes, it really is.
Coming up after the break, we're going to head out to East Hamilton Radio so that we can find out about a few great last-minute gift ideas. And later on in the kitchen with Chef Rachel, we're going to create something yummy and delicious for the holiday season. Stay with us.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, where we're now in the install bays of East Hamilton Radio at Barton and Kenilworth in Hamilton, and I'm joined by Bob Sanderson. Bob, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for coming, Kris.
And for taking us down here. Now, this is an inside look that I think not everyone would get to see, and here we are in the install bays. As we're approaching the Christmas season, many of us have drivers on our Christmas gift lists, and you've got some great solutions here at East Hamilton Radio.
Absolutely, we do.
So we're, of course, in the install bay. What are some of the products that you've got going into the cars around us right now?
Well, in the background here, we've got a Chevy S10. We're actually installing a full-blown auto start alarm combination unit.
Okay.
This will protect the vehicle, allow full auto start from up to a quarter mile away.
So lots of different options for the driver on your list.
Yep.
Bob, something that I think many people are interested in, excited about, is the auto start feature.
Absolutely.
And that can come in sort of many different shapes and forms, different applications, but something that you mentioned to me before we got started was an auto start that works in conjunction with your smartphone.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's a newer product by Viper. It's called Smart Start. It's basically an application you would load on your smartphone. It's not limited to any one phone. It will work on Android, iPhone, and BlackBerry.
Okay.
There is some hardware we install into the vehicle to make it work, but the beauty of it is the app is free. You pay a yearly one-time fee, and you can use it as often as you want. There's no restrictions.
Okay, so what functions does it bring? Why do we want it?
Well, you can start your car from anywhere your phone works. So landing on Toronto Airport, coming back from a nice beautiful vacation to some snowy weather, you can have your vehicle run, started, all hot, ready to go for you when you get back.
Fantastic. And with it being on a smartphone, you can actually see what's happening with your car on your phone.
Yeah, as soon as you turn one of the functions on, you start your vehicle now sends a signal back to the phone confirming it is running or you've locked or unlocked your doors.
Wonderful.
So you can do all those functions right from your smartphone.
Are there alarm applications with it as well?
Yeah, it comes in two shapes and forms, I guess you could say. It does come in an alarm starter, and just a starter system.
Okay.
So you have basically a choice of 3 different models.
Now, with traditional alarm systems, where you've got your key fob and your alarm system installed in your car, perhaps you're in a mall or the airport, as you said, and your alarm's going off. A lot of the time, you wouldn't know it's going off, and you wouldn't know if you hear an alarm if it's yours or not.
Yeah, precisely.
But that changes with this smartphone application.
Absolutely. You'll actually get a notification right to your phone. You know exactly what's going on with your vehicle. If they've broken a window in the actual vehicle, you will get an actual, I call it an SMS text, but you will get an alert sent straight to your phone.
Wonderful. Yeah. Is this something you have on your own car?
I do so. I do so. It's nice to have. A big thing too is, a lot of places you cannot receive or get signal through an auto start. Some of the signals may only work from 5 to 10 feet away from your car.
Right.
Prime example is Toronto. I don't know if you've ever been downtown Toronto before, but you'll literally be standing beside your car trying to unlock your car with your remote.
Well, there's signals flying everywhere, right?
The airwaves are congested there. So the smartphone application, that'll absolutely eliminate those issues.
Okay, so basically, as you said, the app is free, and then there's just some hardware that needs to be installed here at the shop. Let's talk about installation, not necessarily of just this application, but of other things. You've got a very qualified team of professional installers here at EHR. Tell us about the install process with cars and why a certified technician is the way to go.
I think I'll start by talking about the certification. That kind of falls to the wayside at a lot of other install bays where we take that very seriously. We have 4 full-time installers here, all qualified to do remote starters. Actually, they're qualified to do just about anything to do with an electronic accessory with your vehicle.
Okay.
The certification process requires 3,000 hours of apprenticed work. So these guys, they've been watched over, they've written a test, and they are 100% capable of working on your vehicle with absolutely no issues.
Which is important, obviously, as it's your car, it's important to you, but as cars and computers in cars get more and more complex, obviously these systems are integrated into your computer of your car, so it benefits knowing what's going on there.
Absolutely. I mean, these remote starters are definitely something that takes a bit of skill to install. It's definitely not something for the novice installer. You could run into a lot of issues if you don't know what you're doing. Cars have burnt to the ground.
You have an example of this, I understand, with a remote start and what you'd look at, or is it an alarm system, what you look at when you open the box?
Yes.
Let's take a look at that and see. So if you open the box, you're looking at a whole lot of wires.
Absolutely. Basically, if you were to take home a system on your own, this is what you'll see when you open up the box. You've got literally dozens and dozens of wires that can go just about anywhere in the vehicle, from under the hood to under the dash to underneath the seat. So this is something that My guys know exactly what's going on. We have the tech support backing us up. So any newer vehicles that have come onto the market, 2012 vehicles even, we can handle them, no problem.
Yeah, that's not something I'd open a box and feel confident knowing what to do myself.
Yeah, and some people just don't know when to say no.
So we've talked about remote starts and about alarm systems. Car audio is obviously a big part of what you do here as well.
Yeah, we do full mobile installations, so anything from GPS navigation in dash. Very big is Bluetooth hands-free.
Right.
I mean, that's definitely law nowadays in our country. So yeah, it's something that we do full time here, and anything from audio, video to, like I was saying, the GPS.
So Bluetooth isn't something that I would have thought to have professionally installed. What would be involved with a Bluetooth system, and what are you shopping for when you come to EHR?
Yeah, there's various levels of Bluetooth. We've all seen the earpieces. I mean, there's nothing to install there. We've all seen the clip-on to your visor pieces. They work great. I mean, it's something that does need to be charged, and it's something that, you know, doesn't always sound the best. So, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're not always going to use it.
Right.
Now, the systems we install, they literally tie into your stereo. So it uses your car stereo as a speakerphone.
So there is no earpiece?
No earpiece. We have a microphone that we plant in the vehicle. The person you're talking to on the other end actually comes right through your car speakers.
Ah.
So if you have any issues hearing that person, you simply turn your volume control up on your stereo.
Fabulous. So it's
Perfect.
fully integrated into your car system. Which then, of course, we arrive at car audio.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is something that there are loads and loads of options for on the market, and at EHR. There are tons of different options available, from very basic to very complex. What should people look for in a good audio system?
I mean, you always have to start at the basics. You know, the majority of the work we do here will involve a simple head unit, which comprises of your AM/FM CD player, possibly an iPod attachment on that as well, and your speakers.
Right.
And then we've got, you know, the level 2 systems, which will integrate an amplifier, subwoofer, and kind of take it to the next level. And then this S10 we're working on beside us here, he's got about 3,000 hours worth of work going into custom work. So this is where we custom manufacture, you know, the subwoofer enclosure in the back of the vehicle. He's currently getting sound deadening done, so the vehicle's interior will be very quiet, it won't rattle. And that's why we've stripped out the entire vehicle right now.
So really, from out-of-the-box factory install to all the way into fully customized and integrated installations, you guys do it all, right?
We do it all.
Bob, thank you so much for taking us inside the
Kris.
install bay here at EHR. Of course, for your needs and looking at audio and other auto installations, EHR is the place to go. Coming up after the break, back to the kitchen with Chef Rachel.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, where we're now in the kitchen, as always, with Chef Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
I'm so excited to create something seasonal, something delicious, and now with Christmas so quickly approaching, you've got some great ideas.
This is something a little different, though I do use chicken a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to crust the chicken with some Stilton cheese and breadcrumbs.
Yum.
It's kind of fancy.
A little bit
And
decadent.
Yes, we're going to make a fig sauce to go on top.
Figs, perfectly seasonal, great for the holiday season, for entertaining. So this could be a go-to meal for you for the holiday season, or something a little bit extra special as well.
Yeah, exactly. So the chicken obviously doesn't take very long, so we're going to start with the fig sauce.
Okay.
It isn't very complicated, but we need to let it simmer for a little bit, so we'll get that starting.
All right.
So I'm going to start with the figs, and in a moment I'll tell you a little bit about figs, but we're going to put them right in the pot with nothing else.
So no oil first, which is a bit different.
No oil or butter.
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit of water in though. That'll
right.
be our liquid. And some chopped up white onion.
Okay.
So we'll start with this and we'll just get this going on a medium heat or so.
All right.
Okay, we'll add in, this is about 2 cups of water.
Okay.
I'm gonna see how much I think we need. Okay.
And are we going to sort of just cover the figs and the onion? That's
Yes.
sort of what we're balancing with?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was about a cup of chopped dried figs.
Okay.
Okay, to about 2 cups of water and a little bit of onion. So we'll just let that simmer for a bit,
Okay.
medium-high heat. So figs are in season. It would be great if you could get fresh figs. Dried figs work just as well. You'll get a little bit of a different flavor with both of them, but they're both equally as good.
Okay.
So if you're going to be using dry figs, like I said, we had a cup, chop them up, and we add about 2 cups of water.
Okay.
If you're going to use the fresh figs, then you can do a little bit more. So probably about 2 cups of fresh figs chopped up. It might be about approximately 8 figs or so.
Okay.
Will make about 2 cups. And then you don't need as much water, so you only need about a half a cup of water to that.
So our water, both as being a basis for the sauce, in this case is actually working to rehydrate the dried figs as well.
Exactly.
I see. Okay.
With the fresh figs, you're going to have a lot of the juices coming out, so you don't need quite as much water.
Okay.
So what we want to do is bring this up to a boil. Okay, and when it comes up to a boil, we'll just turn it down to a simmer, and we'll simmer it for about 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
Okay. Now at that time, you're going to see the figs start to break down, and the water will get in there and kind of reduce a bit.
All right.
Then we'll add in some sugar and some balsamic vinegar to finish off the sauce, and it will be kind of like a jammy consistency.
Ooh, I can't wait. And I've
Yeah.
never cooked with figs. I've never used figs in cooking before. You think of them more as sort of a baking element, something with something sweet.
Right.
So this will be a bit of a savory sweet twist on
Yeah.
it with the chicken. I'm excited to
Exactly.
give it a shot.
Okay, great. So we'll just let that sit for a bit then.
Great.
Now for the chicken, I mean, this is fairly simple. We just have boneless, skinless chicken breast.
Great.
That's my favorite. I think it's the easiest personally.
All right.
So I think we'll just season them with a little bit of salt and pepper first.
All right.
The cheese will be a little salty, so you don't need to add too much salt. I'll just put that on there a bit. And some nice fresh black pepper. And then we're just basically making a crust for the chicken.
Okay.
So we're going to mix the cheese and the breadcrumbs together.
Oh, so the cheese is actually part of our breading.
Yes.
And you're working with Stilton, which is a sort of a blue cheese, really sharp, really pungent, I would say, which is perfect for winter meals. And I think that'll be really interesting with the fig sauce.
Yeah, it's a really nice combination. And it's a good idea if you have some leftover fig sauce, just to have it with some bread and or some crackers and a little bit of Stilton cheese on the side works just as well if you just want a snack and not a whole chicken meal, right? So this gets a little messy. Stilton is a really nice variety of blue cheese, but you can definitely change it up. I mean, it's quite its own flavor, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of people might not like blue cheese. You can definitely add in maybe some Parmesan or something instead.
Okay.
But
Tone
with,
it down a few steps.
right.
Gotcha.
But with the fig sauce, I highly recommend the blue cheese. Okay, so just crumble it in there with the breadcrumbs, and we'll just make a mixture on top. Now, we can add a little bit of oil to this if we have to make it stick a bit. So
Okay.
I have a little bit of oil there. I'm just going to ask you to drizzle a little bit into this mixture.
Into the mixture.
Yeah, just right in there.
You say when.
That's good.
Okay.
Just a little bit to get it moistened up. We can add as we go. But you want it to stick a little bit together.
So a little bit crumbly, a little bit sticky.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then we'll just press it right onto each chicken breast.
Okay, so we're going to coat the top, not the bottom. So it's not a full breading, it's just a crust.
Yes, exactly.
I see.
Just a crust. Now I've preheat the oven to about 350 degrees. And these will probably take anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Depending on the breast, but you can cut into it, make sure it's nice and cooked inside and the juices run clear. And that's just enough time to cook the chicken and get a nice color on the top. Our sauce is boiling nicely over there, as you can see.
Wonderful. So will the cooking time for your sauce vary if you're using fresh versus dried figs?
It should be approximately the same.
Okay.
The same time, yeah. But again, you can kind of keep your eye on it, and when you get that consistency that you want, right? I would say either or for fresh or dried, you want to simmer it for about 20 minutes. And then from there, it's all about just the consistency of it.
So we're going for overall what we're aiming for in our consistency of sauce is something that's a little bit jelly, a little bit, like you said, a bit of a jam-like consistency, and that's sort of where we know we're balancing correctly.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and you can always adjust the consistency with a little bit of water if you have to, if it's too thick. So there's always room for adjustment when you're making sauces, always.
All right.
So it's fairly easy.
So we're almost done, ready to get these into the oven. At what point in this sauce, because we're not going to see it on camera, do we add the sugar and the balsamic? How do we know when it's ready to add those elements?
I'm going to say just the timing. So about 15-20 minutes or so.
Okay.
You're going to see that the water has a little bit evaporated, the figs have soaked some of it in, and it's going to have reduced a bit.
All right.
After that time, we're ready to add in the sugar and the balsamic.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right, so these are ready to go in the oven. We'll get those baking. We'll finish off our fig sauce, and when we come back, you can see us put the whole thing together. And of course, for step-by-step instructions, as always, for fresh or dried figs, you can visit www.terragreenhouses.com. Join us after the break.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, where Chef Rachel is putting the final touches on our fig sauce with our crusted chicken. It looks wonderful. It smells amazing, Rachel.
Thank you. Yeah, the fig sauce turned out really nice. It's nice and reduced with the sugar and the balsamic vinegar, so we'll just put a little bit.
And with this
on top
special
of each
meal,
one.
we've made an extra plate because we've got a special guest with us.
We do.
Just in time to enjoy our chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, a woman who needs no introduction, Leslie Stewart. Hi, Leslie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And starting 2 weeks from today, Leslie will be joining us as your new host of TERRA at Home.
Well, thank you for bringing the show to this point, because obviously you've been instrumental in doing this, Kris, taking the show from the bottom up, and I know it's been very special to you. And
It has.
Of course, you've been here as well, and so I'm happy that you guys are sharing your chicken with me.
That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun. So although I am leaving the TERRA at Home family from a hosting perspective, I'll certainly join you on a regular basis as I bring you all the new stuff as far as style and decor is concerned. I'm moving on to become the style and decor buyer of TERRA. So I'll bring you the best of my products, Leslie, and we can talk about it and have all sorts of fun
Also
here.
have all of your good advice, so that helps me on my side of things too. So, and then of course I'll be with you, Rachel.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope everyone continues to watch and support the show, and support us and support TERRA.
Absolutely. We're going to have
Thank
all
you.
sorts of fun.
Lots of fun.
Join us next week. Chef Rachel and I are going to bring you a very special cooking episode as we create the best of Christmas treats.
Yeah.
And then, Leslie, your first episode will be on Christmas Eve.
Perfect. My favorite day of the year.
It's going to be fantastic. Of course, for this recipe and all of Chef Rachel's delicious recipes, is along with episode archives of TERRA at Home. You can check all of that out and more at terragreenhouses.com. Until then, we'll see you next week and the week after with Leslie Stewart. Stay tuned for more TERRA at Home right back here every Saturday morning at 5 a.m. on CHCH.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.